And we welcome you into another edition of the Ollie Reed Sports Podcast, bringing you the latest news and analysis around the world of high school and college basketball across the Mountain State and beyond. I'm alongside my partner in crime, Mr. Jagger Matheny, and today we're going to be recapping week one of the college basketball season and also talking about WVU's matchup with the Pitt Panthers at Hope Coliseum. Is currently the day before as we're recording, but I'm going to be uploading this later in the morning tomorrow to get you guys set for the game between the Pitt Panthers. I got to see this team play in person against Longwood. My former high school teammate and University High School alum, KJ McClurg, played for Longwood Lancers last Friday night, and I wanted to go see him play and also get a look at the Pitt Panthers, see what they look like this year. Um, so first thing, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and recap what I saw from that game and what I saw from their game last Monday against Eastern Michigan, and what I see from the Pitt Panthers. But before I begin with that, if you guys haven't liked and subscribed yet to the channel, if you guys are new, please hit a like and subscribe button to keep us keep up with your daily news around the world of high school and college basketball across Mountain State and beyond. We're the only basketball podcast coming to you with high school and basketball content in the state of West Virginia, 52 weeks out of the calendar year. I know I'm kind of stealing it from John Rothstein, but it's whatever. It's fine. But special shout out to Jay Kuntz, general manager for the Pitt Panthers, first and foremost. He was a part of Bob Huggins' staff at WVU for years. And, first and foremost, that really set the foundation for me to, start this thing up, because I was a big supporter of the Mountaineers back then starting up. So, um, you know, Jay Kuntz is a really good guy. He's a great relations person. He's done a lot of great things for the Mountaineer program over the years, and now he's with Jeff Capel and his program there in the northern side, Pitt Panthers. So this is going to be a really good homecoming event for him, and I just want to give a shout out to him and that rest of that coaching staff, Bob Huggins' staff. Eric Martin, who's now the head coach of South Carolina State. Ron Everhart, assistant coach for WestVirginia TBT, and was a former assistant at WVU. Larry Harrison, and then of course Josh Eilert, and former interim head coach for the Mountaineers and now assistant at Wichita State. So gotta give a shout out to those guys. They set the foundation for me to, kind of represent this state at a high level like they did, and I'm very grateful for them. And honestly, I'm really excited to see Jay helping out with the Pitt Panthers. Even though it's kind of hard to root for him, but when in that game tomorrow, but it's gonna be awesome to see him there.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned all of those former assistant coaches that were here under Huggins. Now they're all great guys, good coaches, and they're doing great things right now.
Absolutely, I agree with that as well. And with Jay, with being Pitt's first general manager, I can see this team going a long way in the next couple of years. I mean, as of right now, and talking about this Pitt roster, they are very young, but they have a lot of talent. They're very big. They are missing one of their top centers in Deshaun Jackson due to personal reasons. Don't really know why. They're still missing him, but the staff is very hopeful that they'll get him here sometime this season. But Cameron Corrin, their star senior, 6'10" out of Allen, Texas. I know that he's going to be one of the star players on this Pitt Panthers team. And then I mentioned earlier before we started this podcast episode, Brandon Cummings, the 6'3" sophomore. I remember his brother played for the Pitt Panthers a couple seasons ago. Obviously this team, I think this team can shoot a little bit, and Brandon Cummings is one of the reasons why. He's one of the best. He is the best shooter on that team, along with DeMarco Minor, Oregon State transfer. So they got some dudes that can play. But yeah, like I said before, that Honor Huff Brandon Cummings combo is gonna be hitting, man. It's gonna be a dog fight whenever it comes to those two hitting them shots.
Yeah, and I agree with what you said. I expect tomorrow's game to be nothing but a track meet. I think it's going to be fast paced. It's going to be a dogfight, and I think it's going to be close until the very end of the game. I could honestly see this being one of those games that come down to a last possession, last shot. You know who's got the ball last, and that's what I hope for. I mean, this is what rivalry games are for. Pitt, West Virginia. It doesn't get any better than this. This is what we wait for. This is what the fans want, and I think it's going to be a great match tomorrow night.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And just talking about that, uh, excuse me. Um, let's see about this Pitt Panthers team. Like I said before, they're really young. I mean, counting this roster right now, I mean, they have like, let's see, Omari Witherspoon, that's a freshman. Um, Roman Siulipa, another freshman from Brisbane, Australia. Makari Moore, another freshman. Um, they have a sophomore and Nogus Injurseatias. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that name right. I mean, this team is very young. I mean, and obviously can't that if I haven't mentioned yet, Papa Conte, who I'm honestly personally a big fan of. Um, I'm just really excited to see this team like grow. If they can retain the pieces, they'll be really solid. But on paper, physically wise, I think this Pitt Panthers team can compete with the Mountaineers physically. Um, and that's an advantage for Pitt. I think they'll control the boards, or I think they'll control the rebound battle. If they can do that, then Pitt should have a good advantage. But this is a home game for WVU. I mean, WVU has played against some three opponents that they're pretty good. Mount St. Mary's. That was a game that we won. You know, single handedly. But we had in spurts. It wasn't really looking the best in spurts, but it's always first game jitters once in a while, and then obviously you had the Campbell game, which obviously a game like that, I have a feeling you should win a lot more by that. Since they only won by like 8 points, and then Lehigh took care of business at Lehigh. So both these and then Pitt obviously played a really tough Youngstown State game, Youngstown State team. Um, Youngstown's like one of the best teams in the Horizon League. They kept it pretty close with them. Um, and then I think in their second game, I'm trying to remember if they played in their second game here. I gotta look it up here real quick. Going over their schedule, I know they played. Oh, yep, Longwood and then Eastern Michigan, which they won as well. Yeah, although Eastern Michigan did come back, Eastern Michigan came back early in that second half, but Pitt was able to prevail that game 78-66. So, um, both these teams are looking for a big Power Five win. This would boost, like I said, this is for bragging rights. This is for the boost of confidence heading into the non-conference schedule. Because as for the Mountaineers, they still have Clemson and either Georgia or Xavier in Charleston, South Carolina here coming up next weekend. So this would definitely be a huge boost if the Mountaineers can get the job done tomorrow.
Yeah, and I agree with what you said. This is, it's an early season Power Four matchup, rivalry game, and plus you're on your home court. So I think if West Virginia can get the job done tomorrow night, it is a huge confidence booster going into the rest of the season. And we still play Clemson, Wake Forest, Ohio State. So I think if we can start off with a win over an ACC opponent tomorrow, rivalry, that's huge.
Absolutely, I agree. It's just Pitt basketball. Like I said before, they're young, but like I said, they're very talented. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, I think the goal for West Virginia, they just gotta, they gotta control the rebounds. Harlan's really got to step it up on the rebounding side. Although he's been doing a good job with that. Brennan Lorian's also been a really good rebounder for the Mountaineers as well. Jasper Floyd's been helping out in spurts. Offensively, Jasper Floyd has also been doing pretty good at that, since we've seen like two of those guys. We saw Lorient and Floyd actually get career highs in the first three games, which is something that is very exciting to look at. Eagle staff, didn't really do so hot the first couple of games. Well, he did pretty good in the Campbell game. Lehigh game did pretty good too. Honor Huff starting to play a little bit confidently now. Obviously we already know Honor Huff does what Honor Huff does. He can shoot threes, and he does that extremely well. I think I think he will be able to shoot a lot of threes tomorrow. I think if once he gets on fire, I mean, this Mountaineer team can can go a long way.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with what you said, Ollie. I think the key to tomorrow night's game is to get off to a really fast start. I was
Hmm.
really impressed with how the Mountaineers started against Lehigh. It was fast. The
Yep.
defense was crazy. I mean, we had them in single digits for a long time of the first half, and I think if we can hold Pitt and make them uncomfortable, defensively, that's huge, and we need to crash the boards. It's all about getting rebounds. Don't give up second chance points.
Yep.
Get the boards you're supposed to. If you get offensive rebounds, put it back up. And I just think if we can start off fast and get momentum early, then things will go our way.
Absolutely. And, the Hope Coliseum, playing it on our home court is definitely a big advantage as well. So I think I'm going to give points to West Virginia on that. Final predictions for this game, maybe. If we think if it's going to be a fast-paced game, I can see this game going into the 70s. But in terms of Ross Hodges' defense, I think, you always want to hold your teams down to 50 points or below. So, shoot. Man, I can see West Virginia scoring 78, maybe probably 78 to 60, 66, something like that. I don't really see it being a blowout though. I can see this being probably 78 to 69. That's probably
Yeah,
my final prediction.
yeah, I could see that. I could see us getting up into the I'm gonna say higher 60s, low 70s, and I do think it's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna go WVU wins 73-66 over Pitt. That's my prediction.
73-66.
Yep.
I gotcha. Yeah. I can see that. I can really see that. Ross Hodge, obviously a great defensive minded coach. I think, you know, going up against a Pitt team like that, who's really young, but they're not experienced. And as I was even talking to Coach before, I mean, this is basically a mid-major roster that Ross Hodge put together, but he brought these guys to win. These guys are winners. They come from winning programs. Jasper Floyd, Baron Lorient both came to Coach Hodge in North Texas. You saw how they won over there. Honor Huff came from Chattanooga, who won the NIT championship last season. Trace Eagle's staff, North Dakota was a small school, but still was one of the best scorers in the country. And then, Harlan Obioha playing in that NCAA tournament last year with UNC Wilmington, that won the CAA championship. So, we got experience. I think experience is key. I think that's the reason why WVU is going to win, because it's home court advantage and because we have to have more experience than they do. Pitt, to me personally, Pitt probably has the talented roster, and just in terms of athleticism and stuff. Well, probably not that, but it's young talent. They have us beat by. But other than that, WVU is more experienced. It's going to be It's going to be at the Hope Coliseum, so I can see West Virginia winning this. It'll be close, but I still think West Virginia will get it done tomorrow.
Yeah, and Coach Hodge really preached all offseason how, his main focus and main goal was to bring in guys with winning experience, and that's really what he's done, and that's what he's about. He wants to have guys with NCAA tournament experience. Obviously, like you mentioned, Jasper Floyd and Brennan Lorient were at North Texas last year, so they know Ross's system, they know what he wants and what he expects. So I think all of that is just so important.
I agree. And moving on to the backyard brawl, I'm just going to recap some week one updates here. Obviously, for all the in-state talent, did pretty well. Austin Ball, from who we had on the podcast here during the offseason for Eastern Kentucky, he's doing pretty well over there. He had a double-double in his first game and actually scored double digits over rival Western Kentucky. I think that was a couple days ago. I want to say it was yesterday. Um, but yeah, Austin Ball did pretty good. Was one of the leading scorers there. Deshaun Good, Robert Morris are doing pretty good. Although they did lose to Iowa in the first game. Um, I think Deshaun Good had like scored double-digit points against Iowa, which Iowa, in my opinion, is like one of the sleeper teams head in the Big Ten. And yeah, he finished 11 points and 3 rebounds and 2 steals against a Power Five program. Um, and then the Battle of the Bluegrass was last night. Louisville got the job done over the Kentucky Wildcats at the Yum Center. Pat Kelsey getting his first big win over there in the rival game, getting revenge off of last year's loss. Isaac McNeely was a starter for that game for the Cardinals. Former Polka Dot, former state champion for legendary coach Alan Osborne. So, um, and Braden Hawthorne, who did not play that game, but still was like on the bench for the Kentucky Wildcats. So that was pretty awesome to see. Getting to see two in-state kids going head to head. For one of the biggest rivalries, and talking about rivalries, one of the biggest rivalries in all of college basketball, and that of course is Louisville and Kentucky. Although we already know Kentucky's a blue blood, they've always kind of won that matchup over the years. But maybe this is these next couple of years going to be the turning point for the Cardinals to be potentially be another blue blood in college basketball.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Isaac McNeely, Braden Hawthorne, both guys representing West Virginia tonight, or sorry, not tonight, last night, in one of the biggest rivalries in college basketball. And I was just really impressed with how Louisville played last night. They were fast. I mean, the way that they're able to advance the ball up the court is crazy. They get down the court, they're deep, a lot of depth. They got guys who can shoot. Like you mentioned, Isaac McNeely. I mean, probably one of the top shooters in the whole country, and you just love to see someone from West Virginia representing college basketball.
Indeed. I mean, Isaac McNeely can shoot it. He didn't really shoot it like extraordinary well, like we thought he would, but he was still like going at it on defense. He was doing everything right. Other than scoring, he was helping his team. Passing the ball. Playing good defense. Even though Pat Kelsey is more of like an offensive minded coach, but this team was pretty good on defense as well. I mean, you already see how talented and athletic that team is. Javon Hadley and Keshawn Pryor coming back from injury last season. And my goodness, let's talk about the freshmen. Let's talk about Michael Brown, 29 points. I know he's shooting like a bunch of free throws, but 29 points and a big win over that. Um, Other than Michael Brown, like he's extra, like my gosh, Michael Brown's really talented. I cannot wait to see that kid play here in person soon because I do plan on seeing Louisville and my boy Isaac McNeely play in person soon. So, I have a good relationship with one of the coaching staffs over there at Louisville. So, former Big East foe as well for the Mountaineers. So I'll always give my flowers out to Louisville Cardinals. They're a really good program. Pat Kelsey's doing a heck of a job in year 2, and and then obviously talking about the other freshmen, you have, Cameron Boozer from Duke, who's obviously doing extraordinary well already. And then of course you got the top freshmen all almost residing in the Big 12, like we were mentioning before, you got AJ DeBonsa from BYU, Darren Peterson at Kentucky, and, you got Tande Yesufu, who's scoring like 20 plus points for Baylor. And then of course you have, Sean Abev from Cincinnati, who's also helping out with the Bearcats as one of the star players as a freshman. So I feel like this freshman class, I have a feeling like this is the best freshman class that we've seen like since like I don't know, since a long time. I know last year's class with Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple and VJ Edgecombe. Those guys are really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention Koa Pete. That's another top freshman in the Big 12 for Arizona, and you already saw they got the win over the defending national champs. So, this team. The freshman class is. I think it's better than last year's class, if not like, better than we've seen the last decade.
Yeah, and I obviously last year's freshman class was great, and there was a lot of really good players. But I didn't even expect this until the last week or so. Now, you just went down a whole list of guys who have been showing out. It's crazy. just multiple guys, a couple of them being from the Big 12, and I'm excited to see a few of them play in person this year, like AJ DeBansta, Darren Peterson. I'm ready for it. I can't wait.
Me too. Like this, them going playing at the Coliseum as well in 2026. I mean that's just gonna feed families, man. I mean that is really gonna feed families this year. AJ DeBansa and Darren Peterson both predicted to be like number one picks in 2026 in the NBA draft. So it's very awesome to see here. And then um, let's shout out some of the Morgantown High School natives here. As I forgot to mention earlier, Sharon Young and the Akron Zips are doing pretty good this year already, defending MAC champs. They did get a big win, their first game of the season over James Madison. Trying to find the score. They won 85-71 there, beat Princeton by a lot, 104-69. Played against playing against a Penn State team. It's not Penn State. It's some Penn State affiliate team that they beat by a lot, and Sharon's doing pretty good off the bench. This team's still very guard heavy, so that's why Sharon's mainly is like playing like off the bench. But like I said, Sharon's a really good dude. He plays his role extraordinarily well. And just seeing him play big minutes like that as a sophomore, like he did his freshman year, I mean, you can tell. I mean, Sharon is, he's capable of playing for a Power Five team, and honestly, like he was already getting looked at by West Virginia a couple of years ago, and like back whenever he was a junior and senior at Morgantown High School, while he was still winning state championships with Coach Tallman and them. So, but this kid's gotten stronger, and definitely something to keep an eye out. They are playing against national championship favorite Purdue Boilermakers at Mackey Arena on this coming Sunday. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. That's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, and Sharon's, the one thing that I really noticed when he was in high school is, Sharon's just such a good playmaker. His IQ is so high, his decision making, he can feed guys the ball wherever on the court. He can get guys in the right position. He can get himself in the right position, and his defense is just outstanding. His quick hands, he's fast. It just everything seems to click to him. It seems to be natural.
I know, and I've watching this kid play since his freshman year of high school at Morgantown. I mean, that's a young, skinny kid, leading this Morgantown team, the 4 straight state championships and only losing one. That was his freshman year, losing to Ben Nickel in that game-winning shot with Ben Nickel, who played at Ohio and is now at University of Charleston. But yeah, it's just awesome seeing that. Sharon playing for, such a great coach and John Gross in the Akron Zips, and another kid that I really want to see in person again. Was who I've seen. I've covered him throughout all of high school, and I got to see him play last February in Athens, Ohio, and they took on the Ohio Bobcats. And he came off the bench, and he was already scoring in bunches for him, had double digits, while Akron didn't even have that great of a game. That was the game that they lost. But Sharon was a guy that still kept this team up whenever they needed him. So, and doing that as a freshman, I mean, you don't really see it that often in college athletics. Well, you're kind of seeing it with what I mean is you see that obviously with, the high major guys, but you don't really see that with guys in the mid major level. So that's a really cool thing to see. And then obviously I've already mentioned beforehand, when Pitt played Longwood and getting to see KJ McClurg, my former high school teammate, it was really good to see him again. Longwood's been a pretty good program over the years. They're a contender in the Big South Conference, so always wishing the best of luck for my guy there. And then lastly here, as I wanted to mention this before, Caden Matheny, if you guys know about him, obviously he's my former high school teammate as well from University High School. Both him and the Liberty Flames are doing extraordinarily well. Just took over the Field 68 Tip-Off Classic. At home at Liberty, knocking off the College of Charleston and beating Florida Atlantic over the weekend. And Caden Matheny and his team they're just red hot. They're called the Flames for a reason. So because that team can hit shots like crazy.
Yep.
And then Caden Matheny, we already know about him in his high school career. He's been a great 3-point shooter. Extremely quick, very talented all around. Um, from what I heard, from Jeff Goodman from the Field 68 is that Caden Matheny, from what I've heard here, will not be playing basketball after his collegiate career is over this season. So, um, kind of like it's kind of a bittersweet for me because I know his potential as a as a professional athlete. I think that he could play basketball at the professional level, and I know his coaches are wanting him to play at the professional level. But I heard that he wants to go into the real estate business with his father, which I feel like as we were talking about this before, I mean, Caden Matheny, I just got to give my love and respect for him, man. I mean, he's a husband now, and I know has a future family to think about. So, no matter what, I'm gonna wish him all the love and success for him, basketball or not, because there's bigger things in life than just the orange ball in your hands. Um, so, Caden, if you're watching this, man, I just want to let you know that we love and support you here. We wish you the best of luck. Hope to see you back in the NCAA tournament, and I know I'll get to see you soon for your senior day come March. So, um, but yeah,
I
I
also want
know.
to I also
I'm
want
about
to
to say, go ahead.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Caden as well. I've been watching him I was watching him at UHS when I was a little kid, and he was only a freshman, and I mean he was balling out all the way back then, and just to see him, rise throughout high school. He won a state championship. He succeeded at the college level, and now he's succeeding in life. And I just want to give a special shout out to him because he's a good guy. The future's bright for him, like you said, whether that's basketball or not. He's definitely got a lot to look forward to, and I've known Caden for a while now, and I just happy to see him succeed.
Me too, man. And like I said, if Caden's watching this or your family's watching this, the Matheny family, oh man, I got so much love for that family, man. I mean, I've known them like since I was a sixth grader. Going back to his older brother and Nathan Matheny, like riding the bus with him in middle school. And then obviously whenever I was in eighth grade and running with Caden Matheny throughout middle school and because we were in the same cross country team together in middle school, and he was already a star basketball player, which I didn't even know about at the time. So, but yeah, I got a lot of love for them, and for Greg, and it's just and then Trace and Matheny, and then uh, I mean, I feel like that families go through a lot of adversity as well. Um, it's just I don't really want to get emotional, but yeah, it's just amazing to see that that my brother's succeeding. That university high basketball fraternity, man. That's something huge because in university high school basketball, whenever I was a freshman, we weren't known for basketball. We were just a football school or a running school, which we're still a big running school, um, but Joe Smith really turned that program around whenever I started, and then getting to see Caden and KJ take over after we were done, and see that program shine, and I'm just happy that Caden was really, and what really set the foundation for university basketball, and the future is bright for it because of him. So
Yeah, and Caden really did set the foundation. Him and KJ both. Also, KJ was just an outstanding player as well in high school. He was a great shooter. KJ could shoot the lights out from anywhere, and I've been working at Eastwood, the youth basketball league, for his dad now, Joe, for the last 2 years, and Joe's been nothing but good for me. I wouldn't want to be doing this for anybody else. I've had no problems with Joe. He's a great guy. He's honest. I know he's always there for me, and I'm always there for him. And just a good guy, good family. KJ's a good kid.
yes, sir. All right, I think that's gonna wrap up the All Great Sports podcast. Obviously, me and Jagger will be at the WVU Pitt game. I'm not credentialed for this game, for the basketball games, but I'm still gonna be there in support. Um, I want to say this. I'm not like obviously I want to support West Virginia, but I'm also supporting like all of the collegiate athletes that I support. So I'm kind of neutral for this game. So I don't know who to vote. I don't know like who to root for. West Virginia or Pitt. I can't really decide, man. So I'm just gonna go completely neutral, because that's just how it is in this business, man. So I want both teams to succeed along the way. So, but yes, we're gonna be there at that game tomorrow. We'll give you guys like our post game thoughts and all that stuff. Probably like on social media because like I said, we'll both be there.
Yes,
Um,
just real quick.
Good.
Anyone watching, I started doing recaps of WVU games on my Twitter. It's just Jagger Matheny on Twitter. So if you're interested, I'd really appreciate the support. I give feedback of WVU basketball games. I did my first one on the Lehigh game. Sometime tomorrow afternoon, I'm just gonna post a quick overview of what to expect for tomorrow's game, and then after sometime the game tomorrow, I'll do a recap on it as well. So that's all I gotta say, Ollie. Sorry.
Yes. Oh no, you're good. Shout out to Kate. So, make sure you guys go follow him on Twitter, guys, and we'll try to get him writing stories for the Ollie Reed Sports website. So make sure you guys go check him out as well for him doing WVU recaps on the games and stuff. So that'd be great for the brand. So and then that's the game I'm going to. And then also for this weekend, for Friday and Saturday, Division II basketball is officially here in the state of West Virginia in the Mountain East Conference. And I will be going to Fairmont State for the Joe Retton Classic for Friday and Saturday in support of the defending MEC champs, the Fairmont State Fighting Falcons, both the men's and women's teams. So I'll be there in the friendly city for the next couple of days. So hope you guys are stay tuned for that as well, because I'll also be doing some Division II recaps as well. So hopefully you guys tune in for that. And that's going to do it for us. Along with Jagger Matheny, I'm Ollie Reed, and this is the Ollie Reed Sports Podcast. Keep it real, y'all.